Okay, today we are playing a game on Watchpoint Gibraltar. We are in the gold SR range, and we will be playing Winston the entire way through. And our current team composition, I have forgotten to write down. However, it's Roadhog, Zarya, Junkrat, McCree, Zenyatta, Anna. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Professionalism. So, we are playing Zarya right now. We are not playing Zarya for very long. Most of this game is Winston. So, we don't have a Mercy, which is the sad part, basically. I don't think you could pick Moira yet at the time this was recorded, but I'm not 100% certain. That's also sad if we didn't have a Moira, and we could have had a Moira. But really, we want a Mercy more than anything else, because, yeah, Mercy's still really strong, to exactly no one's surprise. So I look forward to whatever the next Mercy nerf is. It's gotta be Valkyrie, right? Like, they have to actually start nerfing Valkyrie at this point, because they clearly don't want to take Rez out of the game yet, even though that's probably what it's going to eventually come to, just like 9 nerfs from now. So it has to be Valkyrie next, right? What do you reckon it's gonna be? Do you think they're gonna just do something harsh, like cut the duration in half? Or do you think it's going to be something ridiculous like the beam only tethers to one additional person, or Mercy can't fly up anymore, or something ridiculous like that? It's hard to say with Blizzard, because sometimes, sometimes they're like, alright, let's try something subdued, like, GA doesn't reset when you use res anymore. Yeah, that's a nice subtle change. And then sometimes they're like, just cut it in half. Buffed the damage up to 50%. Nope, that didn't work. Should we try one of the other numbers between what it was original? No, just completely scrap that idea entirely. No, whatever. Anyway, let's start the game. So we're defending first on Gibraltar, as you might have noticed by the fact we're in the defensive position right now. So they have a Winston. We've got a Roadhog, so, hopefully he can deal with that. And Winston's getting pretty bullied right now, and he actually manages to get away with largely full HP, which is very sad. So why did we use our bubble? Because that's going to be important, even though it's mostly supposed to be about Winston. We bubbled McCree. So here's the thing with Zarya, and this typically just immediately sees an improvement in Zarya play. Most people try to use Zarya's bubbles predictively, where they go, oh, this guy's about to take damage, so I'm gonna bubble him so that when he starts taking damage, he doesn't take any damage. What tends to happen is just that the person doesn't take any damage at all, or the person that was gonna shoot at them goes, oh, now he's got a bubble on him, hold on, I'm just gonna wait, and now I'll start shooting at them. It's harder to stop yourself shooting once you've already started shooting. And also just baseline, they will not react like the frame the bubble appears and stop shooting the person. So you will always get some charge if you use it reactively instead. You will always get some, because they will shoot him at least a couple of times. So it's better to wait until you see somebody taking damage. Either you start taking damage or the other person starts taking damage, and then you bubble them, and then you always get some charge out of it. And don't take it too far. Don't be like, oh, the guy's half dead, now's the time. Just like, as soon as he starts taking damage, you will get some charge, always. Sometimes you can do it predictively, because if you see someone get hooked, yeah, he's gonna take damage. Just bubble the dude. No need to wait on that one. If you see Genji with Dragon Blade standing right next to Mercy, yeah, he's gonna cut her. You can use it predictively in that case, but like, just generally, try to use it reactively instead of predictively, and you will always get some charge. And then that just makes all other aspects of playing Zarya easier, because you will have more charge. So, here's Genji, and here comes Winston, and we can bubble ourselves and just stand in Winston's way, and we get a lot. There, we bubble that person before they've actually started taking damage again, so he doesn't actually get us very much charge, because by that point they've already reacted to us having the bubble, so they're like, alright, well, now he's got it, we'll just wait. Roadhog was not allowed to do that. Do not ever just jump down into the pit. This whole time that this has been going on, also they have been pushing through the ditch while we've been fighting up there. Gibraltar is this way, and Dorado is also this way, where there is a point where you have to go, alright, we can no longer stand here. Because when you're standing up on the ledge over there, or the ledge on Dorado as well, because you know the ledge on the first checkpoint the defending team stands on. When you're standing on those points, the idea is just that you're trying to get as much ult charge during that period as possible. Because sooner or later, they're going to start pushing the payload under you. So you have to go down there to meet them. Dorado and Gibraltar are this way, where when they start pushing it under you, do not jump onto the payload. Because then the enemy teams, look at this, the enemy team just goes, look at this fool. And then they kill you as you jump down on them. What you should do is just retreat back around. If you're here, you just go back around the platform on the top and then you jump down on this side of the ditch. If you're on Dorado, you go down the staircase behind you, or maybe you go into the bridge and jump out the other side of the window at the top of the ramp, but like, never jump on the payload. And I know you didn't do it, but like, that dude did it, and like, they pushed mostly under us by this point anyway. When they start pushing under you, just go rotate around and jump down on the other side of the ditch to meet them. You do not want to ever jump down on top of them. And you do have to come around to meet them eventually, because they're just pushing it under you. You do have to come and stop them. So, dude's getting killed over there by Genji. Why did we use our bubble? Why is our bubble not on off cooldown for that man? We bubbled that dude. Why did we bubble that dude? Because he was kind of getting menaced by Winston, but Winston's not super scary at the same time, so... This guy, however, pretty scary. I mean, that's hindsight's 2020. But, turn allied health bars on, also, because then you can tell if somebody is, really needs the shield, because they're about to die. So, we changed to Winston now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we've changed to Winston. I was not looking. I don't know if you noticed, and I didn't see us change to Winston. We have got the gold scuba gun, which is cool. Seems a little unsafe now that I think about it, because I've never really thought about this. Winston's going scuba diving with a Tesla cannon. Doesn't seem very safe, but I guess he's the scientist. He'd know better than me. So, now we're playing Winston. So, Winston's good against their team, because they've got a Genji, basically. Granted, so here's the thing. We are good at killing Genji. We are not good at killing other tanks. Over here we are also, we found Ana, which is a little odd, to find Ana all the way back here, but she's here. We do not want to try and fight their front line, if possible, because we're not very good at killing the front line. Winston is very bad at killing other tanks, because he does very little damage, and most tanks have armor, which is most effective against weapons like Winston's that do a little bit of damage over a long period of time. So, we want to basically, the gist is we want to really be focusing on their Tracer and their Genji. We don't really want to jump into them ever. We always want to be, like, jumping on the Genji or the Tracer to, like, stop them from doing their job, basically. Winston can dive into the other team and, like, disrupt people, but he also is good at bodyguarding people, and in this case, we want to be bodyguarding our team because they have two flankers. Like, right now, we're watching Tracer fight those people. Go help him. Go help the Junkrat, because, like, fuck, McCree just died, Junkrat's still fighting the dude. You're meant to go and make sure Tracer can't do that to people. You're the one that's supposed to be making space and making sure their Tracer can't just come up and kill people. We jump down on the Genji, which is, like, cool and all, but, like, he's not threatening right now. The Tracer that's, like, after that dude is kind of scary. Like, we should be over there, helping that guy. And, like, Tracer didn't kill him in the end, so that's cool and all, but, like, we should have been trying to help him, because that's our job. Also, yes, we're on flowfeedback.com today, and it's true, we didn't need to use our bubble in those situations. We also didn't need to use this bubble, either, because we're not actually being threatened by anything. Right now, the enemy team, the only reason we need to use our bubble is if we're trying to make life difficult for Genji and Tracer, because they're the only people that are probably going to be doing much damage to our team. So we would want to be finding the people that they are trying to kill, because they're always going to be trying to kill someone. Genji and Tracer, or D.Va as well, can be trying to do it. Basically, we see them fighting somebody, we jump over there, we put the bubble around the person they're trying to fight, and then we start trying to push them away. We we don't need to ever, like, put the bubble down in front of, like, Orisa, because that's just not very productive. We should be using our bubble to try and help people who are being dove. Here we jump down, we get immediately nano boosted. However, only people that we find to tase at the time are tanks, because Genji left. So, yeah. Winston's not good at killing tanks. So, here, this is the point where you go, we're fucked. Because we don't really have anything that can stop this happening. We use Primal Rage mad late. Our team's done. Like, it's over, it's finished, and that's basically what that's gonna say. Like, by the time we use it, both our healers are dead. So, baseline, we've already lost the fight. If you lose both your healers at the start of the fight, you have lost the fight. It's gonna take something unbelievably exceptional for that. Like, your Genji has then gotta kill, like, 4 of them to make up for that deficit. Don't bother using your ultimate at that point, because you've already lost the fight. Maybe you decide that you're going to use Primal Rage to try and keep the Nano Blade away. Wouldn't bother, because Primal Rage is not very good at doing that, honestly. Genji is a little too squirrely to really keep track of in Primal Rage and, like, actually keep him away from people. If you're playing Roadhog, then you can use the Rudy Tooty Whiz Bang Shooty Whole Hog to push the Genji away, even if he's in Nano Blade, because it's just... yeah, this giant cone in front of me, Genji is now getting pushed away from, so that's really easy to maneuver. Primal Rage, not so good at keeping Nano Blade away. I wouldn't bother with that one. You just write that fight over as being done. Like, it's just, they're coming at me with Transcendence and Nano Blade right now. We have lost this fight. So why are we all the way over here right now? Because I was still talking about that and didn't watch why we jumped into them. So we're just coming over here to try and touch the objective, it looks like, and fight people. There's no reason, because we don't really want to fight on the payload while it's all the way over there, really, because that's not a fantastic place to hold. You can hold this position if you've got, like, a Reinhardt on your team, because then you can maybe kind of stand around the payload. When we're playing on Gibraltar, we basically, and we get to this checkpoint, we base it all around this ramp, because this is, like, the best we get on this point to a choke point. And granted, like, it's really hard to get it moving again if we stall it here. So, bare minimum, we like, wait for it to get close. Like, usually people will wait for it to get to this ramp and then start fighting. We don't want to be diving onto them right now, because we don't really want to hold the payload there, because that's a harder place to hold it. Also, just baseline, don't forget, we don't need to be diving into them right now, because we're playing Winston, and the main reason we should be playing Winston right now is I assume this is the reason we picked Winston, is we looked at their team and we went, oh, Tracer and Genji. Aha, I don't want them to kill my backline, so I'm going to change to Winston. So we should just basically be sitting with our backline the entire time. Like, we should be sitting with our team and just be playing really patiently. Like, alright, Genji and Tracer are going to come here sooner or later, and I am going to make sure they can't kill my backline. And then, once the payload gets here, then it starts getting easier to actually fight on the payload, but, like, we should be sitting with our backline, because we have to make sure they aren't getting killed by Genji and Tracer. Like, Genji's back there right now, killing McCree. So, we should be helping deal with that, because we have to... The reason we're picking Winston right now is to protect our backline from these flankers, so we should be prioritizing that over jumping into the enemy team. And we should wait until the payload is in a better position to jump into, because we don't really want to hold it over there, if at all possible, because that's not the greatest place. We base it all around the archway on Gibraltar for that point, because it's really hard to get it going again if you lose momentum right there. And because the point is so close, even if you die at the arch, you've still got time to get back again for one more fight. So, at this point, this checkpoint's gone. Because we show good patience, and we wait for our team, because people are dead, but they're just not going to make it back in time, because the deaths are too staggered. So we're not going to get to fight over the checkpoint. We shouldn't be here anymore, because there's no point fighting over this area. Because us controlling, like, this area doesn't do anything for us, because they're just going to push the payload past us, which they're doing right now, actually. There's no point fighting here. As soon as we realize that we're not going to get to fight over the checkpoint anymore, because it's gone, we should just completely give up and go stand over here now. Because us fighting here accomplishes nothing. Alright, we get control of this high ground. Now what? Your Winston standing up here, and they're running away from you. There's no point. We shouldn't even be standing over here right now. We should just... Alright, that checkpoint's gone. Just write it off. Okay. Gone. We can't fight over it. I'm gonna go stand over here now. Because this is where we defend on this map. We try to hold it here. And then if we The reason we hold it here is because this is the easiest place to stall it out, because you've got the corner for cover, and there's, like, high ground to use as well. And if you die here, you've got plenty of time to get back and fight as they're still pushing it through. We don't want to fight over this area. There's no point in us controlling this area, so there's no point fighting over it. And also, some of our team come and stand over there with us, so we could have accidentally baited our Mercy into dying. So now is the point where we engage Ultra Greed. Because we really want this, Genji. There's no point us fighting over here. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with defending. The closer you... Well, this is true of both teams, realistically, but defending is like... The closer the enemy is to their spawn when you kill them, the less it means that you've killed them. Because think about what happens, right? So, best case scenario, we kill Genji, right? Spawn is right here. So he spends 10 seconds respawning. Not 10 minutes respawning, that would be very severe. Spends 10 seconds respawning. He comes out the door, and he's here again. We killed him here, so 10 seconds later, he's back. If we're fighting at the top of the ramp, and we kill Genji up there, well, now he has to spend 10 seconds respawning, and then he has to spend, like, another, 7 seconds walking back, because he has to come out here and then go all the way back around there again. Well, I mean, he doesn't go, that way, but he goes, he's got to spend time walking back. And then this gets more severe depending on where you are, because, Numbani Street phase, right? You're defending, you kill them right at the checkpoint. They now have to respawn, and then walk all the way from their spawn back to the end of the checkpoint, which takes 10 seconds plus about 20 seconds to walk that path if you have no mobility. So, if we kill somebody right outside of their spawn, it means significantly less than if we killed them, where we should be defending, because then they have to walk back there. Right here, they just have to respawn and they're back here again. And it's hard. It's easy for us to die over here, because we are outside their spawn, where they are just going to naturally have a huge advantage fighting. We want to kill this Genji, but there's no reason for us to be fighting this Genji right now. Him being in the hangar means he is doing nothing, right? What's he doing in the hangar? Nothing. So what are we doing trying to kill Genji in the hangar? We're also doing nothing, because Genji's doing nothing. So we're not stopping him from doing anything. We're just both doing nothing. So there's no reason for us to do that. We're being very greedy. We want the Genji killed. It's basically I know I counter Genji, so I want to kill Genji. But us killing Genji in that situation doesn't actually do anything. So there's no point, and it just ends up leading to us dying for no reason. We should just be waiting over here. And then we can fight them in this area, which is where we actually want to be fighting them. So don't jump in yet, because Transcendence is happening. Because Transcendence is happening, there's no point you trying to do anything as Winston, because you can't do anything. Most people can't kill someone through Transcendence. Winston definitely can. So wait for Transcendence to end first and then go in. Because if you go in while... There's a fucking fly in here, if you're wondering why I'm doing, all this shit. If you're fighting them while Transcendence is happening, you're just doing nothing, and they're getting to kill you for free because Transcendence is happening, so they're just not taking any damage. Wait for Transcendence to end, and then go back in. Then we die here, and we go, heals! And that really upsets me when people do that, because, we're making the mistake right now. Because if you are low HP, you leave the fight. Because you are low HP. You don't stay in the fight and, keep fighting. As soon as you're low, because, we've got Discord Orb on us right now anyway, so, we don't want... we're fighting with Discord Orb on us. Winston's already a soft tank, because he's fairly low HP. Our bubble is on cooldown right now, so we don't have that to hide in, and that's where Winston gets most of his survivability from, is his bubble and Primal Rage. We have neither of these things right now, because we also wasted Primal Rage doing that thing with Genji. So, we've got Discord on us right now, we've got no health, and we've got no barrier, so we definitely should not be fighting. Then, when our jump comes up cooldown, we just go straight up into the air. And then, so we land directly in front of them again. And we have a bubble now, but we've got 50 hit points, so we just die to somebody breathing on us. Just leave. Just leave the fight. Winston, right, here's the... when I say this to you, you're gonna be like, whoa, no way. Einstein fucking found it, but Winston's a gorilla. Winston fights using guerrilla tactics. You jump in, you fight people, right? We've already established that we should really be sitting with our team, because we're picking Winston to try and counter flankers right now. So we should be with our team more anyway, but... Assuming you're jumping in, you jump in with your bubble, or Primal Rage, preferably both, and then you fight them in your bubble, because that's where you get your survivability from. You dance in and out of the bubble. And then, as soon as you start feeling pressured, or like they might kill you, or just the enemy team has turned on you, you leave. Because jump has a 6-second cooldown. So you just leave. And then you wait till your bubble's back up, you wait till you're healthy again, and then you go in again. You don't ever want to die while you're fighting. And I mean, that's true of all heroes. But think about this, right? Think about it like this. It does not matter how much pressure you are applying to the enemy team. As soon as you die, all pressure is immediately relieved. Like, suppose in that example over there, we're applying, like, we're like at the bottom of this ramp and we're applying a mad pressure to their Ana and their Genji or whatever. But then we die. Doesn't matter anymore. That pressure is gone now, so they just immediately start coming back up again. Whereas if we, like, bully them around for a while, then we jump out, we heal up, then we wait for our bubble, that probably takes like 5 seconds, and then we jump back in again, and then we start reapplying the pressure. Whereas if we die, all pressure is relieved immediately because we're not there to threaten them anymore. And then we can't start reapplying that pressure until we get back again. So in this example, we die down there, we gotta spend 10 seconds respawning, so already it's taken double the length of time to start reapplying this pressure, but then we have to walk back. And we're in the 3rd checkpoint on Gibraltar, so we've got to go up the staircase. We can't really speed that up as Winston, because we have jump for mobility. So we spend like 4 seconds getting out of the tunnel, then we jump back over here again, but then we have to wait for jump to get back up again, so that takes 6 seconds. So if we die, pressuring someone down there, all pressure's relieved, we can't start reapplying that pressure for 20 seconds. And then, also, you're dead. So now the enemy team has a huge advantage because they have a numbers advantage on you. So then you get back, and you probably aren't even in a position to start applying pressure again because some of your team are probably dead because they had to fight a man down. You do not want to ever die doing this kind of thing. As soon as you start feeling like you might die, leave. Because as soon as you die, all pressure relieved. You can't start applying that pressure again until you get back. And that takes a long time. It takes a lot longer than if you just leave, get healed, wait for your bubble, and then go back in again. So, now we're back again. The fight didn't go that terribly, even though they had Nano Blade, which is nothing short of miraculous. Like, it is... God himself smiled down upon us today to make us not lose this checkpoint right now. And they actually don't capture this checkpoint, if you can believe it. So, we start fighting in that confined location, we get made purple. As soon as you're purple, you also want to leave. It's the same as having Discord on you, because once you're purple, or you have Discord on you, you're gonna die. You just want to leave until that's gone. So, now, we have Primal Rage. So, we are kind of immortal, and we can just hang around here, and it's not the end of the world, and we start bullying them around again. But think about what's happening outside of these people, soldiers killing our supports with Tac Visor. So, we go back to the start of the problem again. We're playing a tank. Again, we're trying to protect our backline right now, as we keep saying. As soon as we hear that, we should be looking for soldier. Because now we have to try and stop that from happening. And we have our bubble down over here, so it's going to be hard for us. Bare minimum, we can stand between our soldier and somebody else, and then he has to shoot us instead of the person he wants to shoot with Tac Visor. We should not be still trying to bully their supports, because what are the chances we kill Ana and Zenyatta with Primal Rage in this giant open space on Gibraltar? Virtually nil. So, but what's the chances that Soldier kills our supports with Tac Visor while they have no tank with them? Pretty fucking high. So we're just going to trade our supports for nothing. So as soon as we hear Tac Visor, we have to start looking for the Soldier so that we can stop him from killing our team. So, miraculously though, even though both of our supports died right at the start of the fight, they still managed to gain no advantage off of it somehow. It's incredible, honestly, that they had Nano Blade, and then they killed both of our supports with Tac Visor, and still managed to gain no forward momentum. It's very odd, isn't it? It's a very odd one, that. So, even though we didn't actually, even though we made the mistake, we don't get punished for it. So it's all good. If you don't get punished for it, you don't have to learn. That's how I justify it to myself when I make a mistake. Oh fuck, I fucked up. Were we telling someone not to overextend?
Yeah, let's make sure they can't. Don't overextend. We've got...
That's really funny. When you think about what we did in the hangar earlier, and now we're like, don't overextend. That's really funny. I'm not trying to mock you. It's just like, that's really funny, because it's just like we were trying to fight the Genji in the hangar for like 10 minutes, and then we're like, let's not overextend. So. It's okay. Like, half the time I watch what I did back, and then I'm like, wow, I was an idiot. Holy shit. This is why I don't ever post footage of myself, because then, oh no, you'd all learn just how bad I am at this video game, and then all credibility would immediately be sundered. So, now we're attacking on Gibraltar, which is significantly easier for Winston, so now our job is going to be dive in on them. There are certain things that we still want to avoid if we discover that they have it. Like if they discover they have a Reaper or a Roadhog, we have to try and avoid fighting near those people because they're going to kill us. So for example, we find Reaper right here, so now we know they have a Reaper. This is important information because now we know he's there. So now we have to try and keep watch on where Reaper is, and we want to try and avoid fighting near Reaper. If you see just a Reaper and a Roadhog, or maybe even a Reaper and a Roadhog, though it starts getting harder at that point, you don't necessarily need to change off of Winston, because as long as you know, as long as you think to yourself, they have a Reaper, they have a Roadhog, as long as you just keep track of them and you avoid those people, you shouldn't die to them, really. Like, as long as you play around the fact they're there. The reason that those people counter Winston is because they kill Winston, yeah. But you kind of have to let them kill you, because as we've established, like, as long as you've got your bubble in as long as you got your bubble when you go in, you should be able to get away, really. So, as long as you avoid them, they shouldn't actually kill you. And then you can just try and fight around them. Well, no, not fight around them, you were trying to avoid fighting around them. You get the point of what I'm trying to say. Here's Reaper. Reaper's alone right now, so he's not actually very scary. You can also try and fight a Reaper, if you have a bubble, because you can dance in and out of the bubble, and that actually makes it rather difficult for Reaper to kill you. But if someone starts to help the Reaper, at that point it's probably fucked, and you might just want to give it up on that one.
Mercy's down.
Managed to kill Mercy midway through the res. That means she actually still has to go through the 30-second cooldown on res as well, so interrupting Mercy's res is just as terrible as interrupting an ultimate, because it has an ult. That's so sad. Let's watch that one again, because I do like to focus on people's shame. I'm gonna throw in this bad D.Va ultimate. Oh no, it ended up being even worse. Oh god. It's like when you're on Ilios, and the dealer's like, I'm gonna throw it on the point. Oh god, it went in the well. Oh god, no. You're like on Garden, on Lijiang Tower. Oh god, it didn't go in the window. Oh god, it went in the pit. And then you laugh at the D.Va. There's a lot of joy to be taken in laughing at the D.Va in that situation. So, they've got a pharmacy, which is annoying, of course, but Winston is actually pretty good at trying to fight pharmacy, because you can, don't use Primal Rage to try and fight Mercy, though. You can do guaranteed damage to pharmacy by jumping up to them with your Tesla cannon. I do not recommend this course of action with Primal Rage. There are occasionally situations where you can, kill a Mercy or a Pharah with Primal Rage because they're low HP. So if you just need to smack them once, you can, like, reset the jump and then jump up there and try and kill them. But that's a very edge case scenario. Just like this. No. This is not what we should be doing. Also, don't forget D.Va's up here with you on the shuttle right now. So think about it. If you and D.Va are on the shuttle, who's driving the payload right now? It's like Soldier and your supports, and they're getting killed while we're trying to kill Pharah and Mercy, which we're not great at as Winston, and Mercy just uses Valkyrie, and then it's all for naught. And now we've been nano boosted, so that's cool, but there's, the best we can do is try and kill Mercy, and then we're tranked. It's over by the time we get back up to it. It's all very sad. We're focusing a lot on doing damage, and we're not focusing very much on protecting our team, which is the overarching theme of this game when you get right down to it. Remember, you're a tank. Tanks tank damage for their team. So, doing damage should always be secondary to preventing your own team from taking damage. If you and D.Va are both on the shuttle, that means no one is protecting your team from taking damage. So, one of you, at least, has to go back to try and protect your team, because you can't just let them sit down there on the payload by themselves. That's the whole point of being a tank. You're supposed to be there standing on the objective and protecting them so they don't have to feel threatened and stand on the objective, you know? So, currently a lot of people on our team are dead. We've lost both of our supports, so this fight is basically just not tenable. We shouldn't even really be trying at this point, and we should definitely not commit Primal Rage to it, because our whole team is dead right now. This is why the kill feed is here, so that we can keep track of who is dead. You should always be looking at the kill feed and being like, alright, I just saw Mercy and Zenyatta die, so that means we're down 2 people, and it's our support, so that means we're going to lose the fight. Instead, we commit to this fight for a really long time, and it ends up being really terrible, because then also think about what happened, right? So, we spend even longer in this fight, and they committed some ultimates to that fight as well. But then, we get low, we use Primal Rage, so now, our whole team's dead, so we're definitely not going to do anything with this Primal Rage, because we're 1v6 right now. They now get to do 1,000 points of damage to you, because you're fighting. So all those people that just use their ultimates get to build some ult charge off of you, because you've just done this. And 1,000 HP is a lot. Like, they get to build a lot of ult charge off of you for doing that. Because you are going to die, also, unless you just use Primal Rage to run away, but that's really sad. And also, it takes them long enough to kill you, that by the time you actually die, your team is getting back to the front line again. So now, they have to wait for you to get back again. And just as they're reinforcing. So that makes it take the longest possible time to actually try and push again. Because it's really hard to push into an enemy to push into people 5v6. Like, realistically, you need 6 people to try and push into them. So, if we operate under the assumption you need 6 people to push into the enemy team, they have to wait for you right now to get back if there are 5 people out there. Right as they're getting back, you die. Now they have to wait for you to respawn and get back over there again before they can try and push again. And during this period of time, let's be real, they're not going to sit there and wait for you to get back. So they're going to try and fight 5v6, which just increases the odds of one of them dying. And then right as you get back, they're dying, and now you have to wait for them. And then this is why staggering is really bad. And it tends to be a vicious cycle where one person starts staggering, and then the whole team starts staggering. So by us dragging out our death, we end up wasting like an extra 20 seconds, because as they're getting back, now they have to wait for us to respawn, 10 seconds, get back, probably 10 seconds. We waste 20 extra seconds. That could end up wasting you an entire extra push in the game. And also, it probably happens more than once in a game. Usually, if people start staggering, it happens a couple times throughout the game. This is why defending is so easy in lower SR, and then it gets harder as you get into higher SR. Because as you get higher, people are better at recognizing a fight is lost, so they either back out and wait for everybody to reset, or they recognize they've lost and they die faster, because they want to regroup with their team and actually start pushing again faster. So staggering deaths out like this ends up taking up, it means you just miss out on entire extra pushes against the enemy team. And then it's not too hard to imagine how that can end up completely shifting a game. And then that's why it gets harder to defend as you go up, because then the attackers, suddenly you have to endure more waves of actual pushes by the enemy team, and then it gets harder to defend, because they're better at actually just resetting the team. So we jump in on this Roadhog right here, who we are not great at fighting. We don't ever really want to be jumping on the front line as Winston, because we are bad at fighting tanks. Just universally, Winston is bad at fighting tanks. You kind of break even with Zarya, but like, you're never going to kill Zarya, and Zarya's never going to kill you, so you still don't really want to deal with it. We look at their team. What do we see? What are we good at fighting on their team? We're good at fighting Mercy, we're good at fighting Ana, and we're good at fighting Hanzo. But they've got a Pharah, so Mercy is always going to be with Pharah usually. Or she can always go to Pharah if things go badly. So all we're really good at fighting on their team is Ana and Hanzo. So whenever we're jumping into the enemy team, we should always be looking to jump onto the people that we're good at killing. Because there's no point jumping on Roadhog. Roadhog's one of the people we want to avoid because he's good at killing us. So when we're jumping in, we're looking to jump in on Ana and we're looking to jump in on Hanzo, because they're the ones we're good at killing as Winston. So they have just lost their Mercy right now, right as we're actually starting to regroup again, so that's great for us. We end up taking a big chunk of damage, but we start getting healed up because Mercy uses her ultimate, and now, because they're missing their Mercy, when they start losing people, it's really bad, because they have no way of evening out that number advantage. We've still got our Mercy, so as people on our team die, Mercy can res them, and then this is why Mercy is still a must-pick hero. we just have more people than them now, because our Mercy gets to res people, but ours doesn't. Theirs doesn't, rather. So they just straight up have to kill like 2 extra people. No need to use Primal Rage right here, because this dude should die without us using Primal Rage. If we see that he gets nano boosted, then okay, maybe we go, alright, now I'll use it to push him away. No need to use it just baseline on the Reinhardt, because he should have died. With the information we had at the time, he should have just died without us needing to use that. We ended up dying here. It's not the end of the world, because we did just capture the checkpoint. Obviously, it's bad we died, but, like, we got into a weird situation with the Reinhardt, so, you know, our spawn's right here. So, now, we can start trying to push again. Our Widowmaker just died to Reinhardt, which is, of course, tragic, but it's okay. D.Va's just chucked this out. That ended up pinning someone against the wall, it looks like. And we can take advantage of that pressure to try and jump in on the Mercy. And then we just kind of give up on her really quickly, which is weird, because she only went over to Anna, so we could have, like, kept going after her. Instead, we give up on her to start fighting Reinhardt, who we're significantly worse at fighting. So we could have just kept following the Mercy, really. So we're trying to kill Roadhog right now. We're bad at doing that, so really we should be looking for something more productive to do with our time. Usually you fighting a tank as Winston ends up being a waste of time, really, because you don't bring that much to killing them. And you can usually just try and find someone else to try and kill instead. And Transcendence was happening, so it's not like the Roadhog was ever going to kill anyone on our team. So we could have just gone and tried to find something else to do. And this is how we capture the point, because now we usher these people over here. We got ultimates. They're staggered right now, so Reinhardt's doing this. He dies. We win the game. Woo, cool times. We do get to see the play of the game in this replay. This is on flowfeedback.com, as you might have noticed, so you can't see the timeline. Yes, unsurprisingly, it's the Nanoblade. Yes.
Jeez, this guy's all over the place.
It's true, he is all over the place. Yeah. People are always really impressed by, like, the Dragon Blade, Nanoblade plays, but, like, honestly, they are some of the easiest play of the games to get, because Dragon Blade is an extremely consistent ultimate for killing people, and if you get Nano boosted, dude, it's basically automatic. Like, it's not actually automatic, but it's about as close as you can get to being automatic, so I do not find those plays impressive, ever. Now, the Reinhardt that got the 6-man Earth Shatter, there was some lead up to that. Like, you know, they go, oh, he just pushed one button and he got them all. That's exactly what Genji did. The Reinhardt at least had to put some effort into it. Like, there was lead up to getting the 6-man Earth Shatter. Genji just pulled out Dragon Blade, got nano boosted, dashed in and cut people, and they all died. Like, it was not actually very impressive, because he went Q, and then he went, and they died. And that's how he got played the game. That's not impressive to me, because even a monkey can do it. It's funny, because we're playing Winston. So, the biggest thing that stands out in this game is basically that we're focusing a lot on doing damage rather than actually protecting our team, even though I have to assume the reason we picked Winston on defense was because we were trying to counter their flankers. So we should be spending more time actually protecting our team. And then there was a time, like, Tac Visor was happening, and rather than try to stop that, we went to try and kill their supports, even though it was just not tenable for us to do so. So, that's what stood out the most in this game. So thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.